Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Equanimous Saint Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively, we are the Office Blokes. I've been trying
Well
so
done,
hard
by the
for
way.
the past 5 minutes to remember.
It's been repeating.
I'm sure it wasn't pronounced that way neither.
Yeah, it's probably someone else, isn't it? No, it'd be.
Wow.
I've literally the whole time been sat there. I remember. Anyway, yeah, we are the Office Blokes. And Office
Do you know what that means, actually?
Equanimous.
Yeah.
It's
Horse's arse.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Isn't it?
You can tell him that. That's equinanus that you're talking about anyway. Yeah, we are the Office Blokes. Office Bloke Daz is releasing content on his own YouTube channel called Office Bloke Daz.
Yeah.
Funnily enough. And I've been starting working on a channel called OB Dave and African Ash recently. So go and like and subscribe there. It do us a massive favour because we're startups, aren't we?
There's going to be some real special giveaways on mine as well.
You're going to give away special people on your channel.
Yep. Starting with you. The specialist of all specials.
Look at what you can win.
Yeah.
Here's what you could have won.
Yeah, head over, like and subscribe there if you could, please. It means the world to us and it costs you nothing. Just like here, if you're not subscribed here. Go on.
Yeah.
Go on. Right, Queen Elizabeth's longevity contextualized for Americans.
Okay.
Right, okay.
This is a bit lost in the pond.
Yep.
I like Lawrence.
He's very good.
Yeah.
He is. I'm wondering what, obviously he's talking about the Queen here, but is this going to be sort of stats about...
Yeah, when she came in power and what was about.
Yeah, and what's happened.
What's happened since, I would guess.
I'm guessing so, yeah.
Maybe like that stat of the 15 US presidents, is it, that she's, been in her...
I think she's only met 14 of them though, hasn't she?
Is that
The
what
15
it
that
is?
have been in power or something.
Right.
Something like I don't know which one. I can't remember which one it wasn't. She's not met.
Did she meet Trump, didn't she? Because
yeah,
I
in
remember,
front of her.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was big protests and stuff, weren't there? People
Yeah.
wanted to stop him coming.
Which one she didn't meet then?
Don't know.
And why? Interesting.
I'm not sure.
How long was Nixon in power for? He came in after JFK, didn't he?
I don't know.
Wasn't a short reign, wasn't when JFK
Yeah,
was
Nixon was
assassinated,
in,
then did someone come in as like temporary for a
it
short
was
term?
Nixon, wasn't it? And then didn't he have the Watergate scandal?
Wasn't there?
He did,
wasn't
yeah.
there
I thought that was a bit later, that though.
Wasn't there a VP that came in first though? Like when JFK was shot.
Yeah,
whoever his
that's what I
vice
mean.
president
That was Nixon, wasn't it?
Was that Nixon?
I don't
That was vice
know.
president.
I don't know.
I don't
No
thi-
idea.
We don't know a lot.
American history is not my strong spot.
I think Nixon was a bit later one. I think he was like early 70s, wasn't he? The Watergate scandal.
It was in Forrest Gump. That's all I know about that.
Was it?
Can't remember.
But
Yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
let's get into it. Queen Elizabeth's longevity contextualized for Americans.
It's finished, Dave.
How did that happen? How did that happen?
I don't know.
It was literally at the beginning. All I did was press
Like
play.
most people alive today, until this past Thursday, I'd never known a Britain without Queen Elizabeth II, which is a wild thing to say considering I'm 40. And it's even more gobsmacking to think that when I was born, she'd already been on the throne for nearly 30 years. Since I've moved to the United States, I've found it common for Americans to express admiration for the Queen, if not for the royal family itself. And this is generally in line with my own view. And while the United States might have a Burger King and a Dairy Queen that sometimes live inside of an old White Castle, it doesn't have an actual royal family. And so because of that, and in the spirit of this YouTube channel in which I uncover the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, I wanted to put Elizabeth II's immensely long reign into an American context. First of all, it is worth noting that when she was born on April the 21st, 1926, the then Princess Elizabeth of York was alive at a time that alcohol sales were banned throughout the United States. McDonald's was 15 years away and the Cardinals had yet to win a World Series. It also meant that she was briefly alive at the same time as Wyatt Earp. In fact, it was while she was still a princess in 1951 that she met Harry Truman. Her first meeting with a US president, but by no means her last. During her royal life, she met no fewer than 14 US presidents, including that time that she was sucked into a meeting with former President Hoover, pun intended. In all, she encountered almost a third of all US presidents in history. And this one really surprised me, right? On the day that Elizabeth became queen, Laura Ingalls Wilder, author of Little House on the Prairie, was still alive and would be for another 5 years. In cinema, singing in...
That one didn't really mean anything to me.
No.
Well,
I remember Little House on the Prairie, but I remember the series.
TV
was it like the late 70s, early 80s, I'd like to say, something like that? I do remember that.
Right,
It used to be huge, didn't it? Even over here, it was really, really big.
It's mad that McDonald's was not even conceived for another 15 years.
When she was born.
I know, yeah.
It's one of the biggest companies in the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
A now iconic Hollywood movie was still weeks away from its premiere. Perhaps most importantly of all, Mr. T wasn't even born yet, and Billy Joel, who references England's new queen in We Didn't Start the Fire, was 3. When Elizabeth became queen, the statehood map of the United States was roughly 16% smaller than it is today. It looked like this. And if you're thinking, ooh, Lawrence, that doesn't look any different to the US map today, then you might have a bias toward the contiguous states. You see, Alaska and Hawaii wouldn't gain statehood for another 7 years. Her coronation was closer.
Everything we do that's to do with the American map or geography or anything, Alaska is the answer to absolutely every question, isn't
Biggest, longest coastline, biggest landmass, coldest place.
If I ever find myself on a quiz and they ask me something that I don't know, it's Alaska every time.
That's what you do, Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska. Phone a friend.
And Hawaii wouldn't gain statehood for another 7 years. Her coronation was closer to the Chester A. Arthur presidency than it is to today. Since most of us forget who that is, Chester A. Arthur was president between 1881 and 1885. And this one, right here, this hits me the hardest of all of them. Renowned US scientist Dr. Emmett Brown wouldn't invent the flux capacitor for another 3 years, although he did briefly live during the presidency of Chester A. Arthur. When she became queen, roughly 84% of today's US population wasn't even born yet. So it wasn't just Mr. T. And probably only about 8.5% of Americans alive today are old enough to remember the event itself. If her reign had started at the beginning of the US Civil War, she would have reigned through that, the end of slavery, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the assassination of Garfield, the president, not the cat, the assassination of McKinley, the Titanic disaster, World War I, women's suffrage, prohibition, and the start of the Great Depression. She was around for a long time. People thought that in 1977 when Star Wars came out, because she'd already been on the throne for a quarter of a century. I don't know if she got tickets, by the way. And that's it. She's left us, and I doubt that any monarch will rule as long as she did in my lifetime. Let's do the maths on that. I'd have to live until the age of 111. Charles would have to abdicate tomorrow, hand it over to William, who'd also have to live until 111. And that's not happening unless great advances are made in medicine. Thank you for watching. Goodbye to you all, and goodbye, of course, to the Queen.
It's a good video, that.
Yeah. Good as
I like it
usual.
when you put it into perspective, like the different timelines of of what's happened in the I was reading it in the newspaper the other day about what the Queen's been through.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. A lot of it you forget about as well. You thought, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And she's she's had to deal with a lot of shite.
Just a bit.
A lot of shite prime ministers. A lot of shite governments.
Most of them.
Yeah.
It really puts in context, doesn't it? Coming up with things like that. It's really, really interesting. Really good.
You think how much the world's changed in the last 20 years. And that's nothing compared to how long she was even on the throne.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with all the
just
internet and stuff like that. But
just technology in general, medicine, like there's so many things that have changed at a crazy rate.
yeah, I mean, when she was first inaugurated, I mean, television was only just getting going then, wasn't it? Just about.
Yeah. What was it?
What year was she?
1926.
Not when she was born, but when she,
it was just after the war, wasn't it? That she was.
70 years it was.
70 years, so.
Yeah, so 1950.
About 50 something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
50, was it about 52?
52.
Yeah, because there was something on the other night about, people would start to watch things on television, like little telly, huddled around in the front rooms, in the lounges and stuff like that. So that was in its
infancy. The
infancy.
Silver Jubilee was 1977.
Yep, correct.
So she was 52. She was crowned.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling.
Well,
you think about it, the money we spend in the UK, the money we use, we've never known anything other than the Queen to be on it.
No,
we've never had any other mark on it.
Yeah, money, stamps, post boxes.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff to change.
A lot of uniforms as well, things like that. Practicalities, pictures, national anthem. Yeah.
Well, studying the new words.
Yeah.
She'd been on the throne 34 years by the time I was born.
Yeah.
That's a scary one.
That's all, yeah, it's a long, long time.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will ever surpass that. I wouldn't have thought.
I doubt it.
Probably impossible.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, it'd be.
Because she was younger coming onto the throne in the first place because her father died, wasn't she? You know, he was only, was he 52, 54 or something? He was only in his 50s, wasn't he, when he died? So
George VI.
Yeah, so obviously she came onto the throne a lot earlier than you probably normally would do. So.
People are living longer though.
True,
So
they are.
you know, they reckon, what's the statistic for how many people are going to live past 100 that are born in the past decade or something? They reckon the average age is going to go up quite significantly.
Yeah.
So Charles will probably be on the throne for a good few years anyway, but then, I mean, William's the next in line, he's 40 already. So you think if Charles is on it for like 10, 15, 20 years, you know, he could be in his 50s and his 60s, William, before even he gets on the throne.
Yeah.
True.
So,
yeah.
you know.
There'd have to be some sort of disaster and it goes to one of the kids.
Do you know who's after William?
Oh, I'm assuming it's one of his kids, but I'm not too sure.
I saw the photographic thing of who's in line today. It's George, isn't it?
George, yeah.
George.
Yeah, it's
right,
George and then the daughter,
Charlotte.
Charlotte. They've got 3 kids, haven't
Louis.
they? So then it's Louis. Then there's someone else. Then it's Harry, isn't it?
No. After Louis, Harry.
Is it?
Really?
Yeah, and then it's
Just
me.
King does. He's got a ring about with
We
that.
can't have a ginger prince. Ginger king, can we?
Ooh.
Henry VIII was a ginger.
Hey, I wasn't around then. Mike, well, you were.
He was, yeah. He used to dye his hair, though.
What, in the blood of his wives?
There's plenty of that about, wasn't there? There's plenty of that. Well,
interesting.
Good video, that.
Yeah, interesting.
Really interesting.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.